Hey everyone, it's Bryan from Raid Leader TV, partnering with DestinyLFG.com to bring you the complete Crota's End hard mode guide. It is important to note that while this guide will give you a total understanding of the new mechanics and changes to the encounters, they are created with the assumption that you have already beaten the normal difficulty level of the raid. If you have not yet beaten Crota's End, then take a look at our guide for the normal difficulty by clicking the annotation on the screen or following the link in the video description. To start off, we will be going over the changes made to the Abyss section at the beginning of the raid and what they mean for your fireteam strategy. Soon after entering the Abyss, you'll come to the realization that just about every mechanic remains the same from its normal mode counterpart. You still accrue Weight of Darkness debuffs over time that slow down your character, and these can still be lifted by standing next to an activated lamp. However, there are a couple key differences between the normal and hard versions of the Abyss. First off, as is the case throughout the entire hard mode raid, you can no longer revive your teammates. This is to be expected as the hard difficulty of Vault of Glass offered the same challenge. In addition to this, the level of the enemies you face in the raid has been increased seemingly across the board, with an average level of 33. This makes fending off large packs of thralls that are chasing behind you much more difficult, not to mention that the cursed thralls, knights, and ogres have all been promoted to majors, giving them a yellow health bar and increased damage resistance. You'll also notice that the Weight of Darkness debuffs stack more quickly than they do in the normal version of the raid, meaning you'll have to make your way between the lamps as fast as possible in order to make it to the end. This isn't actually as difficult as you'd imagine when you realize that most of the time spent waiting around in the normal level of the raid was due to waiting for dead teammates to be able to be revived. The knights will also spawn and attack your group earlier than they do during the normal version of the raid, and due to their increased life pool are incredibly difficult to take down. We actually found the easiest thing to do was simply ignore them until reaching the end of the maze when we could turn around and focus our fire on the enemies that followed us. At this point, your biggest concern is keeping the ogres away long enough to allow the bridge to form. My group chose to sacrifice one of our members to try and distract the ogres so that our strongest, most handsome players can make it across the bridge. You may have noticed that this section of the video was filmed by Raid Leader TV's proprietary Gordon Dawn camera angle, which is due to our cameraman facing a similar fate of ogre distraction. This part of the encounter is so much easier with a Defender Titan that I almost suggest picking one up just for this reason. Pop a bubble down in the sink plate and the ranged ogre attacks won't be able to hit you, and any melee enemies will be blinded when they try to attack, assuming the Titan is properly spec'd. Ultimately, we managed to cross the bridge without killing the last ogre as it took too long for us to cut through his health with the amount of people we had left alive. Completing this section of the raid is a chance to drop a primary weapon, such as the legendary pulse rifle Oversoul Edict, which can be fired in full auto and has some fun anti-hive abilities. So that's it for the Abyss section of the Crota's End hard mode raid. To see our guide for the next section of the raid, click the annotation on the right side of your screen or check the link in the video description below.